What's going on? This is Shango Ray. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Making a very brief video. I got a question, okay, that I wanted to answer. I thought it was a great question. And this question arose because we are having a Your Roads Open ritual and clearing. And one of the things that I was told and it was revealed to me is this ritual is going to definitely facilitate activation of what would be deemed supernatural powers, okay? Psychic, magical abilities in many, if not all, the participants, okay? And what I was asked is basically, how working with gods, goddesses, demons, angels, Loa, Apollos, like whatever you want to call it, however you want to categorize them. How does working with them give you any powers, quote unquote? Now, first of all, let me say this. You don't need to work with anything to develop what is called supernatural, okay? You got to remember, too, that there was a time where the shit wasn't supernatural. It was just natural, okay? Our faculties were on fucking point. But we, in our de-evolution, got supremely dumbed down. Look at our society now. We can't even fucking remember a phone number. So what does that tell you? We've become solely reliant on outside technologies and things. But there's also been an argument among occultists for a long time about whether, gods, goddesses, demons, angels, all these things, are they outside independent entities, or are they aspects of ourselves? And me personally, I have more of a middle path kind of approach to that. The jury's still out for me, which means that I get to keep learning and experiencing new shit because I don't think I know everything. But I can see how one can view it one way or the other. But that's irrelevant here, and we're actually not going to be, getting into that. But one of the reasons I felt like this came through when presenting this this ritual was because these are things that we're going to fucking need very soon. Like, these things are going to be essential. These abilities, these faculties that I say, in my opinion, are dormant within you already. Okay? We've maybe even gotten little sneak peeks or whatever. I don't know how far along in your spiritual development you are, or, how new you are to this kind of information. So I guess that would also all depend on other variables. Okay? But the way I look at it is this, right? I'm going to give you a simple analogy as far as I'm concerned, that I feel, in my opinion, explains how. First of all, it's not like these spirits, gods, goddess, deities, that they give you something. I look at them more like codes or formulas, programs. But they're not just simply programs, okay? These are very primal intelligences that I also believe do exist in the collective consciousness, right? Which we are all connected to, and that is connected to us, each individually. And so imagine you have a phone, right? I'm going to tell you a very quick story. A couple of years ago, I had a phone. Turns out I needed a flashlight, right? But my phone just didn't have a flashlight on it. But if I downloaded this particular app from the Google Play Store, now I had a flashlight. And I remember turning the flashlight on and being like, where the fuck was this flashlight 2 minutes ago? Why is it a flashlight now? Because I received a program which enabled this particular hardware, my phone, to be able to express a certain function, i.e. the flashlight. Well, much in the same way, when you open up to these primal energies, you are opening yourself up to different frequencies of energy and different frequencies of intelligence. And if you want to call them kind of like programs, you can call them that too. Okay? Now, your brain is like this cell phone that I'm talking into right now. Our cell phones can do so fucking much. You might, and it may not be able to do it technically right now, but I'm guaranteeing you there's an app you can download which will now enable it to do that. Hell, you can even turn your cell phone into a stun gun. Okay? So, as above, so below as above. Much in the same way, when you start to interface with these primal energies, especially the primal energies, or what would be called the darker energies, all right? Vast amounts of intelligence and information these energies possess. Okay? These energies are a form of light. You always hear these people, I'm a light worker, or whatever. Hey, dark light was first. Okay, light comes from the darkness. And when we refer to light, we're only referring to what we can see through our very extremely limited human eyeballs, which can only see a minimal fraction of the spectrum of how much light we believe to exist. I believe there's probably even more. Okay? It's a very healthy thing to practice this mantra. I know I don't know shit. That mantra is like the essential emptying of your cup so you can receive the new. Now, I truly believe that these faculties exist within you already. These are, the capabilities are there. They're just not activated. They've been dormant. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the brain, the hardware through which your spirit, animates this avatar, that's like the hardware area, right? You will find, and you can look this up on YouTube for yourself if you want to see it. Like I think you could type in, they have footage of what happens in your brain when you change your mind about something, or when you're learning something new, or you make a connection, when you have oh, okay, I got it. Oh, I understand. Or when somebody says those just few words to you that just totally blow your mind. What's happening is you have these synapses, you got these neurons, they're like wires, they look like tentacles, and they reconfigure. So for everything that you do, there's a particular configuration, right? So when you're washing dishes, that's your mind rewires itself right then and there to do washing dishes. If you're going to give oral sex, there's a whole rewiring for that. If you're going to get in a fight, there's a whole rewiring for that. If you're just vegging out watching TV, there's a whole wiring for that. So like every single thing, tasks that you do at your job, there's a wiring for that, a configuration, And when you start to work with these different gods, goddess, demons, angels, you are receiving new apps which allow you to access that which is dormant within you, to express that. I think that's a little bit more accurate. Okay? And these things start to come online. And then you start to experience it. So depending on what it is, there's a whole host of different types of extrasensory or, faculty, magic abilities, some may call them. You're a manifesting biological spiritual machine. You know what I'm saying? If that ain't magical, I don't know what is. So uh, you name it, you name it. So that is like a very brief explanation as to how working with a particular god or goddess, angel, demon, it can even seem like the angel, demon, god, or goddess gives you this power. Like it just throws some magic, pixie dust at you, and now you're fucking supremely clairvoyant or something. But that's not it. And even with activation, and once these things come online, there's going to be a need for you to, the more you use it, right? Like the old saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what's happened to many of us throughout these different lifetimes. And, through the programming and conditioning, that you're just this little ant, this little worker ant here on this little rock floating through space. So unlearning, unconditioning is a huge part of that. But the other aspect is, I find when I've had certain abilities start to come online, first of all, I wasn't familiar with it from before. I wasn't used to having this new, or whatever this was, right? So I had to get used to it. But then I noticed that the more I started engaging with it, interfacing, and using it, the more clarity I had with it, because it's mine, right? But I've also downloaded certain, like sometimes I would just know what to do if I wanted to exercise it. I didn't have to go look it up. I didn't have to go research it. Like I knew that this insight that I just received, as far as like, I would really like to work out this particular kind of, let's call it a psychic power or ability or faculty, and I would just kind of like receive an exercise for me to do, right? And I would just practice it. I'd make a game out of it. Anytime I want to learn something quick, I make a game out of it. In other words, make it fun, right? Whether that's, if you're practicing astral projection, whether it's clairaudience, clairsentience, what you feel from something, you might have a psychic power where all of a sudden you start smelling shit that ain't there, And mind you, your subconscious mind will now use these other faculties now to communicate also. So it's like, yo, I'm trying to tell them about something that's coming, or something that did happen. Because information, there's only the now, right? To us, from our individualized human perspective, there's a past, present, and future. But really, all this shit just exists it all exists at the same time. It's just degrees and dimensions. That's it, right? So that in a nutshell, once again, that is how working with a deity or loa, such as Metkafu, which this Your Roads Open ritual is all about. And it doesn't hurt either to research, feed that intellectual mind, give the baby its little, its baba, you know what I'm saying? Because your intuition also uses your intellectual knowledge too. The more you have in your database, the more your subconscious mind has to use. Besides, because your subconscious mind can also go through the back door and tap into the collective conscious. That's how you just know shit that there's no way you should know, versus you might have seen one thing one time and you totally forgot about it, but your subconscious mind knows that it seen that before and has it filed over here. And for some reason, it brings it back up to you, So that's how it works. In essence, that's how it works. And like I said, once these activations start happening, you'll know it. It's up to you to, to start to exercise that. Because just like I said, as above, so below as above. You want to think of these things just like a muscle, we all have muscles, right? Just some of us have more defined and bigger muscles because we challenge them, because we offer resistance to them. So they respond by growing. So do these abilities, Okay? So do your abilities. All right? So this is Shango Ray. Let me know if you have a question in the comment section or if you like this video. And if what I've said really resonates with you, you definitely might want to consider this your roads open ritual. It's called that because the premise is your road's already open. You might be on a shitty freeway right now, but that exit right there coming up is the one you want to take because that is the road for you. And that road's open. So we can continue down this road that we're really not supposed to be on and have a bumpy ass ride, or we can go down this road. Okay? So link is in the description box for that. I'll check you out on the next one. Peace.